We want to give you some information beforehand about the smoke sauna and the tradition connected to it, also the meaning of the sisterhood in the title, and how it all comes together and how important it also is in Anna's life. But there are also some technical issues because it's filmed in a sauna with 80 degrees. So you can imagine that this is quite a challenge also from the technical side and for the equipment. So Anna, I give the word to you. So thank you very much for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I can really say that this film is rooted in my roots in southeast Estonia, in the indigenous culture of Võro and Seto that I'm part of. And in my case, it was my granny who introduced me to the culture and heritage and chants. And when I think back to where the impulse to the film comes from, then actually it comes from the time when I was 11. And my grandfather had just died, and his body was in the house. One day before funeral, in the evening, we went to smoke sauna with my granny, aunt, and niece. And it was there where granny revealed that grandfather had actually cheated on her, not once, but lived with another woman several years. And she released all the emotions connected with that. There was pain, there was anger, frustration, and one smoke sauna session lasts several hours. You're in, then you go out, you come back. And once we went totally out, put the clothes on, I felt that granny had made peace with grandfather, so that next day we could bury him in peace. And it was the time when it got to me, into my soul and bones, that on this earth there is a safe space where absolutely all your emotions and experiences can be shared, can be heard without judgment. And when you give voice to them, there is huge healing power. So this is the impulse for the film. I made it 7 years, and people have asked how did I manage this intimacy? I think it is really possible. This film is possible because I'm like a voice from within the community. And it started with sisterhood that I'm part of. And I had some rules in the beginning. The rule was that I will not persuade anyone. So I met the women and I told what kind of intimacy I'm looking after. And only those who were, yes, I want to be there. Then we continued. And when I felt there was hesitation, for me it was no. And also important to mention is that usually you write these releases before filming. So it means that when you go to film, then everything you film belongs to the production. And I was against it. Like I couldn't imagine asking them to be so naked in all the senses and taking the voice away. So I have to congratulate my producer, Marianne Austrat, who supported my vision, so that only in the post-production where I did the edit, I showed the edit cuts, the whole film to the women, and they had the right to say yes or no. So it was huge risk for the production, for us also, but I think in order to create vulnerability, you have to take the risk. And nobody said no, but some people were sad that their story was not in the film. So that was emotionally really difficult for me, how to tell that your story is important. It doesn't mean that it's not important. And when I started the film, I thought that the most important is the courage to share uncomfortable. But after 7 years, I have more and more thought that it is so important, the courage to learn, to hear the uncomfortable. Are we ready to hear the uncomfortable? And I'm traveling with the film a lot, and many people respond, and it talks to me about this deep need of safe spaces where we can share and hear the uncomfortable. And this is my inspiration. I hope it inspires people. And technically, yeah.
Wait 1 second. I just wanted to sum up what you were saying now. So there are no professional actresses in this
No
movie.
actors. These are real women. Yeah.
And they are just your friends. And it's very important to know that sometimes you told me that sometimes you were sitting in the sauna maybe for 3 hours and there was complete silence, and then suddenly stories emerged. So all these stories are authentic. They are things that happened in these women's life, and in all, I think one can say you have the full pain that can occur in a female life.
Thank you for reminding me. Yes, and it started with these women, but then Estonia is small, 1.3 million, and women started to approach me who knew that I'm making the film, and some changed their minds, and who in the beginning were hesitant, and they wanted to be again in the film because society changed also a bit, the Me Too movement, and yes, so we had this rule also I had that we don't talk about what we're going to talk in smoke sauna, so it was always entering into unknown. And smoke sauna is a sacred space for us. It's special, especially for women, because women used to give birth, wash the dead and heal in smoke saunas. And it's a place where you go to wash your body, but also your soul. And you're there naked, and the nakedness is nothing sexual. And there are different bodies, and every body has the right to exist. And every story has the right to exist. And it takes several hours, at least 4 hours. Sometimes we had one, it was like extreme, but 8 hours, because things just emerged. So through the heat, you start to sweat out the physical dirt, but also the emotional dirt. And
also, I think very important and very impressive is there is all this pain and all these stories, but there is also this process, what you mentioned right now, of healing, and this comes from the safety, the closeness, and the trust amongst the women. So it's really very touching, and I was very happy to see that it's possible in Estonia, at least. Yeah.
But
it
doesn't mean that every man in Estonia does it. It's not true. Also, everyone not in the southeast Estonia does it. It's belongs to UNESCO heritage, and it's you can say fading. Yeah. But yeah, this kind of safe space. We all who wanted to be in the film wanted to share it with the humanity. It often seems that it's impossible, this kind of safe space. But I still want to believe that it's possible.
Also, I think what we should mention is you're getting very close to the bodies, naked bodies, and there are only 2 women who show their faces. Maybe you can tell us a little bit how that became.
Yeah, I was following who wanted to show their face, who didn't want to show their face. And on the second year, there came on board Kadi Kivilo, a friend, and she really wanted to be in the film with her face. And then I was like, wait, Anna, but I was doing this film without faces. And then I was like, hey, Anna, you were doing a film following women's voices. She wants to be in the face. And then we went to smoke sauna, and I noticed she's amazing in listening. And through her face, she gives us the possibility to listen. And in general, for me, it was how to transform the experience of smoke sauna into this dark cinema hall that you're now going to get to experience. And technically, yes, it was challenging, 80 degrees Celsius. We had ice bags around camera and 2 lenses, because sometimes the difference of temperature was 100 degrees, minus 20 outside and plus 80 inside or more. So one lens was outside, and one lens was inside while heating up the smoke sauna. We put it on the floor, then after 2 hours more up, after 2 hours more up. And smoke sauna is different also. There is no chimney. It's a wooden structure that you heat before, and you have to take time to heat up the smoke sauna and to be there. And also maybe you hear the story in 10 minutes, but maybe it came on 3rd hour. And I think we are covering kind of...
Yes, more or less. Yeah. Maybe just a few words about the crew. Yeah. If you see the sauna situation, it's a very tight room. It has just one window and one door, and it's sometimes how many women? 6, maybe 5, 6 women, and the crew.
7,
yeah, maybe 7. So imagine what that means. Yeah.
Depended. Yeah, it was very challenging emotionally to keep the space, but also physically, to make sure that nobody passes out or anything. So we had this again the rule that whoever needs to breathe goes out to breathe, including camera. Just camera says I need to breathe, and had to breathe. For me, the challenge was that there is female naked bodies, and how to give to you, the audience, this nakedness that is not sexualized. Yet, naked female body is so sexualized in society and objectified. So what I did was first testing on my own body with a cinematographer and finding the visual key. And then I showed it to the women. They felt safe, and then I didn't need to think about it. I put really time to find that language. And one degree that I have is in photography, so I'm very aware that you take out camera, it's nothing objective, it's always subjective with a glance. So what glance are we showing these bodies? And so it's nakedness without sexualization and embracing everybody.